Hey, how y'all doing today? This is Nate, Chris, and Brennan. We are the Rule of Third. Today we're just doing our episode analysis and breakdown of WandaVision Ep7. It was
Can't tell this backwards in that. Okay.
It's cool. You swapped it enough time to guide it one way or another.
What's up?
But yeah, hopping right into it. First thing I'll ask, what did you guys think about the episode? Overall, this time, definitely in comparison to like last week's episode, like episode 6 versus episode 7, better, worse. Let me know.
I think episode 7. We were kind of talking about it a little bit ago off camera. When are we going to get those lengthy episodes? So I think that was kind of surprising right off the bat that it was 38 minutes or something like that.
I looked at the time and I was like kind of sad.
Yeah, me too.
And it's almost like with every, and I don't, maybe disappointment is a strong term, but it's almost like with every disappointment or I thought it would do this kind of moment, there's that anticipation of what's coming. You know what I mean? So
for sure,
if we're going to get the last 2 episodes and they're an hour long or an hour and a half, long, excuse me, I'm all for it. All for it. Because
me too.
I think where this one left off with the the reveal with Agatha, that essentially she's been behind so much of what's been taking place, from the get-go, really.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things we've had questions about and theories, and a lot of
Sparky
enthusiasm.
Bro, she really killed that dog. I knew she killed that dog, man.
I think we all knew that. Yeah, she killed that damn dog. And I think, it was one of those things where it was done well. It was done well. The quote unquote reveal. I don't think there was necessarily any surprise to it. I think the one surprise was for me was that she was behind the whole Quicksilver reveal.
Yeah, that was surprising to me too.
That was surprising. That was surprising. But I think we've all been kind of waiting to see when Agatha's going to show up. So we got that this episode. We got some other good information. The whole dynamic with Kat Dennings' character, her name slips my mind. Envision, essentially
Darcy.
Thank you. That whole conversation with Darcy and Vision, which was essentially filled in his sort of backstory, which he didn't have, which he hasn't have.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. She was just telling him everything that happened. It's crazy.
I think that was really cool. I think obviously, I think the coolest thing about the episode was I keep using the word dynamic. I'm trying to find another word, but I can't. But the storyline progressing with Monica, I thought that was dope.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Did you peep that when she re-entered the field?
Yeah,
with the eyes and the.
Oh yeah, I mean it was. We can get into it in greater detail, but I thought that was probably the strongest part of the episode, along with just the you can kind of see the whole level from the beginning. How deep and how involved or how manipulative Agatha has been through this whole kind of thing. So as far as like takeaways or my initial thoughts, I think the big 3 is Darcy and Vision, starting with number 3, number 2, Monica and her development, but really seeing the depth. That's the word I'm looking for. The depth of manipulation that Agatha has had through this whole thing. So that's kind of my takeaway. But again, I mean, 2 episodes left, and there's so many rumors out there. There's so much. I think there's so much. I think there's just so much stuff to come.
Still so much more coming. So like there's so many interviews that have been done, by a lot of the actors in the like Tiana Paris did one. Kat Dennings has been doing a bunch, but there's still a lot, in the last 2 episodes that are still coming, believe it or not. And they're just like, yeah, like hold on, strap the seatbelt. Like there's more though, which is crazy to think. You know what I mean? Like, going to this like biggest surprises for me. I thought it was very surprising that there was no interaction between Wanda and Vision all episode.
Yeah,
that was crazy. After like one of the biggest events of the episode, he like pretty much tries to escape, gets to the outside world, sees what's happening, and like Wanda doesn't even think to like go talk to him. She's just like, yeah, like let me stop him from coming back, if anything, which was just so crazy to me. There was like no dynamic between them there, and then the whole Agatha Harkness. I feel like everyone kind of suspected that. But like for me, like I think going off what you said, Chris, finding out that Pietro was kind of being controlled also by Agatha was surprising to me because I was not expecting that at all.
I mean, you guys remember how hype I was about that whole thing.
For sure, yeah.
I will say this: the after effect of her saying she controlled him makes sense. A lot of where his quips were coming from for how he was acting. Because if you notice, he was kind of acting like her.
For sure. For sure.
Not that like when he was talking about just here to stop with a little mischief and stuff like that. Like he was literally acting like Agatha. Like now that like once it's revealed, like that's and she also
for sure.
I was like, so
for sure, definitely, and like just the fact that even like Herb, like we were kind of suspect about Herb, and like like she controlled him too, and like even like the moment when it's just crazy just seeing how much Agatha was really in control of, like even the moment when Wanda's like speaking to the camera and like interviewing, like she's the interviewer. Yeah, breaking the fourth wall. Like she's the interviewer. Like it was just crazy. Like how many stuff was going on, but yeah, like this next 2 episodes have to be long. There's just so much to unpack here. I still, I'll get into this later, but I still think there's more going on. Obviously, I don't think Agatha is just it. You know what I mean? I still think there's more, but I'll let you go.
Yeah,
let you go next there.
Well, so y'all hit a lot of the stuff that I was gonna speak on. But I'll say, yeah, I mean, overall, great episode. Like I said, it closed a lot of doors from my little theories from previous episodes that we've had, but and we'll talk about this later. It did open back up a theory that I had real early in our talking about WandaVision. So I mean, yeah, but I'll say me and Brendan talked a little about this like at work off camera. But my main thing right here is like that y'all didn't speak on because y'all kind of spoke about the other things that I'm kind of really impressed by as what happened to the kids. Yeah, like and then episode she like asked kids, like they're just going. Like
what does she do to those kids?
And now it's a situation because I don't think the kids were created by Agatha.
Because for sure not. I think she wants to use them. If anything.
Yeah, sure. I think there's definitely. I mean, now that it's kind of all out in front and center, she's a manipulator. She's manipulated Wanda. She's trying to manipulate the Hex. Whether it's Vision, whether it's or Wanda, and now I think the kids. But I think the big question that's kind of all on our minds, and is okay, who's she manipulating it for? Because I think we all kind of have a feeling that there's a bigger bad here at play.
Yeah.
And we can throw around the names, whether it's Chthon, whether it's Mephisto, whether it's Nightmare, whether it's whatever. There's something bigger at play here. So I think not to fast forward the conversation, but I think we would all agree that it's really going to be cool to see, okay, who's Agatha Harkness in line with? Who's she working with, working for? What's the reason?
Who is still Ralph? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's we've been throwing that name around now. I think every episode. Who is Ralph? You know what I mean? And what is he like? I hope we get to see him. I hope it's done well. I hope it's pretty cool. Like
Is it the cat? You know?
you know at this point, I mean, I think there's so much, and I guess I just had this thought in my mind, like, you know what, we may not get all the answers in WandaVision.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we will.
Like this-
If this thing is really supposed to drop off on the doorstep of Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness, I got a feeling we're not going to get all the answers.
We're not.
Really do.
We're not. So
You
much
know?
is happening at this point that I don't think so either.
I just kind of have that feeling. So, kind of brace yourself for that. It might be some time before we, and Marvel, they're masters at connecting the dots and the overall continuity with things. So just kind of brace yourself that if things don't conclude the way we hope, wish, they will. We're going to have to wait. You know what I mean? We're going to have to wait and see what happens, which I'm expecting, to be honest with you. I'm
for
expecting
sure. I'm expecting that too. Because I mean, there's so many things being set up with so many different characters right now.
Sure.
I feel like it's just going to be explored in other movies, like Photon. Like it's going to be set up like Captain Marvel 2. Like we're not going to get everything answered as to what's really happening. Like that might be the most we'll see Monica's powers all the rest of the series, but maybe we'll see it more in Captain Marvel. Like it's gonna be something we have to wait for. You know what I mean? And like just like you said, like stepping into those doorsteps of Doctor Strange, like I can see Marvel literally setting it up like that.
but
So then now you get super excited for the movie and you get to go see the movie, which I don't know when it's coming out, but honestly, shoot, if it comes out in theaters, I would love to go see the theaters. I miss being in theaters, but
oh god, yeah, we can talk about
Man.
that all night long.
dude,
if the big bad is who I think it is, who Agatha is partner with, going back kind of from what I've seen, and from that last kind of part there when they're in the basement and all with the book, it would tie into a lot of the newer heroes that they're also bringing into the MCU, like Blade. Because if it's who I think it is, and that being the book I think it is,
the Darkhold.
Yes. If that's the Darkhold, then what's it called? The Darkhold is actually what caused the first vampire to be created in Marvel. It's where werewolves come from. It's how they came into creation. And it's the book. I mean, it's the Book of Cthulhu. It's literally, it's his book. It's his book of spells. Literally, that's
the only question I have about that, and I apologize for segueing in.
No, you're fine.
Is we saw and I was an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. We saw the Darkhold in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Didn't Ghost Rider, he either destroyed it or took it with him somewhere? Help me out with that. Because the question will be is like, how'd she get that shit?
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm almost certain that what was it, Ronnie Reyes, the Ronnie Reyes character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., who's playing Ghost Rider, either took it with him or did something with it. So it's like, and hey, look, if down the road, and we've kind of already, said there's some answers, some questions might get answered down the road.
Yeah.
If there's a Ronnie Reyes cameo, like, thank you.
Hey, some people were saying that.
There's a couple
Ghost Rider cameo possibly.
Whether in WandaVision or Multiverse of Madness, like
some people were saying we might.
And there's supposed to still be a really, really big cameo / reveal that we haven't seen yet.
What?
Or I don't think it was the Agnes's one. There's no way it was the Agnes's one because everybody and their mom.
No, it wasn't Agnes.
Sure. No way it was the Evan Peters one.
It's not going. I don't think it's going to be Doctor Strange. So and honestly, like I have guesses. But when I haven't seen the interview, Brendan, I know what you're getting to, that Paul Bettany did. But this is supposed to rival Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, Mandalorian. And I'm thinking to myself, who the hell? And we talked about it a couple episodes ago of why I thought if that is Quicksilver from Fox, then yes, that's a huge thing because that's mutants now in the Marvel universe. It turns out as right now, it turns out not to be. So I'm like, man, like who the hell could it be? Like, and I guess yes. I'm just gonna do this all as a whim. Let's just say, it's Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Yay! How does that make sense?
Exactly.
Like, that'd be a great cameo, but how does that make sense? And I'm not saying that's my guess. I'm just throwing out a huge name. How does that make sense to this story?
Right.
So it's got to be somebody that makes sense to this particular story.
For sure.
And still be a huge cameo. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen things. I've heard, it might be this, but I'm just like, okay, like even if it's that person, that would be dope. But that ain't on. And I do not want to go into this sort of WandaVision versus Mandalorian thing. I don't want to do that. But the only way I have to say it is, of the people and ideas of who it could be, it ain't on that level of Mark Hamill, Mandalorian. It ain't.
1 second.
So I'm lost. So I have no idea who it could be. No idea.
See, I don't know. It's going back to the interview, like Paul Bettany was saying, like, it's someone that he's always wanted to work with, and like very, very talented, and like I don't know if honestly, sorry, like the Mark Hamill and the Mandalorian was such a huge thing. It was huge. It was like one of the biggest things in like the last like couple anything Star Wars has put out. Like it was huge. Like, and that's and maybe you're trying to hype up the series and build so much hype around it, so you kind of say some wild eccentric things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's not. You know what I mean? Like we have to wait and see. But like, I don't know who could actually genuinely rival that.
I have no idea. And if that's what he said, right? Isn't that what he said? It was somebody, or is that what was said?
I think.
Because maybe I'm spreading rumors, and I don't want to do that either.
I don't know if someone said that or not. If someone did, then that's a lot to live up to, because that was huge.
I don't know if there's anybody. And again, this conversation is going in a different direction, and I don't necessarily want it to. I don't know if there's anybody in the MCU that would rival Mark Hamill. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I mean, don't get me wrong. Like there's some huge characters, and again, like if y'all know, put it in the comments. If I'm speaking out of context, let me know. But that was what I heard. Like, oh, there's supposed to be some dope ass cameo. They're supposed to be as big as Mark Hamill and the Mandalorian. I'm just like, really? Like, how they go? Who? You know what I mean? So maybe I don't know. Maybe somebody can find that quote, just so I'm not misquoting things.
The only thing they would but I haven't seen them in any casting or anything like that, so I don't think that would be a thing. As if they literally somehow brought like Professor Xavier, like the old brother who Picard, like the guy who plays him, or they brought in the original like Magneto from like the first X-Men movies.
Yeah, if you bring in Ian McKellen, like that's dope. Like that's awesome. That's great. That's a phenomenal thing. And again, I want somebody to find the quote.
Yeah.
So I'm not like creating more gas for this thing. But that was one of the things I heard. There's supposed to be a cameo that's supposed to be as big as Mark Hamill and Mandalorian. I'm like,
if
Who
they
the hell
some
could do?
yeah, if they somehow
You know,
bring like if they somehow bring in a like a Professor X moment, like they stop like Wanda from like wilding out, like, and it's like that would be that would be wow. Like, but I don't.
I think we kind of talked about it. One of the episodes where yes, we're going to see Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, but yeah, he might have somebody with it. But he might literally have somebody winning from some other universe. Like I'm
Right,
all
and it
for it.
might just cut off like right there.
If he shows up with come on, man. If he shows up with Ian McKellen or Michael Fassbender, like, oh, like you can't see him. The Goosebumps just showed up.
Yeah, that would be wow. That would
that would
absolutely
be great. And if we get that moment from the House of M, or even like if it's James McAvoy, if it's oh God, Patrick Stewart, and we get that moment from the House of M where he's like wanting to stop it. Like oh God, like
yeah.
mind blown.
If they
like,
actually give us a House of M moment, that would actually be wow. Like that would be absolutely wow.
That rival the Mandalorian right there.
That would be no, but it'd be pretty crazy.
That's my argument. No, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm like,
But only because Star Wars has a bigger fan base than Marvel does.
You think?
For one specific character, because the cast of Star Wars is not as diverse as Marvel is. There's like a bunch of Marvel, like there are other Star Wars characters, but there's always been the main limelight Star Wars characters, and Luke has always been one of them, no matter what. And Mark Hamill brought that character to the big screen, like, so yes, like
for sure. I think for one character, yeah, I think Luke is probably one of the biggest for sure. Definitely. I mean, I can talk about Star Wars all day.
I know, God damn it, I'm sorry.
We can rant. I have a lot of rants about Star Wars.
This is all my fault. This is all. I should never open my damn mouth. I'm sorry.
But I mean,
let's go. We're only we got 22 minutes, guys.
I don't know if anything can reach that moment because that was so huge for so many fans, especially after the disappointing last trilogy. Mandalorian was just so amazing, and then to end it like that was just perfect. And I just don't know. And WandaVision's been great, though. Don't get me wrong. Like,
to even take a step further, Brendan, like Marvel really hasn't missed.
They haven't.
You know what I mean? So as far as like that kind of like redeeming kind of thing, I don't like. What do they need to redeem? Like, they haven't really missed anything.
Right. For sure.
You know what I mean? Like they haven't. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a new character, man. Maybe and that's something I was just. Maybe it's a new character like we've been wanting to see but haven't seen. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. At first, I don't know if anybody caught it, but when Monica kind of tie things back into WandaVision, when Monica had her little squabble with Wanda. And she hit the ground with the Iron Man pose. And I was like, ooh, I said, do they have the balls to do that? Because I'm thinking of like cameos. I'm like, could they really do that? You know what I mean? Like, would they be so, you know what I mean? But like, maybe it's not Iron Man. Maybe it's Ironheart. Maybe it's not Robert Downey Jr. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's somebody new.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was
but yeah, I know it couldn't be Robert Downey Jr. because Paul Bettany's worked with him before.
Yeah, true. You got it. So, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we got 2 episodes left. Let's kind of reel it back in as far as episode 8. What do y'all think we'll see from episode 8? We're all hoping for a longer episode. We're going to see. You think there'll be any more big reveals?
So
go ahead.
Sir, before we get even to episode 8,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what is wrong with it? Who is this male person? This male
Yeah,
man?
yeah. Did
You
you
know
see
what?
that box at Fragile when
Yeah,
she?
Yes.
I did that.
Yes.
But hang on though. But
Bro,
I'll let you finish.
what is his deal?
Dottie came back. We saw Dottie again.
Yeah, she's out the
Yeah,
window
she
like.
was there. She was there. Yo, like,
know?
something's going on, bro. Like, who is this male guy? Like, when Agatha came out and was like, saying like, "Oh, young lady, you got to go back home or whatever," he was just looking like, like, I'm
He
just
just-
like, yo, what is, like, and he was there when Agatha was like near her, near Wanda's house when she found the airplane, and she was just like, like, she said some weird thing to him or whatever. Like, and then like that moment when he was like, "Oh, your mom won't let him get far." Like, who is this guy? Am I reading too much into it? Let me know.
Maybe
I don't know.
I think this time, especially when the box read fragile, I think that was a direct representation of Wanda. She's fragile. You saw how everything was glitching out on her.
Yeah.
She's like falling to pieces.
And she's trying to just
sure.
ignore it. She's talking to her kids, talking about, she's pretty much like, fuck it.
Yo, that was
fuck it, yo.
She didn't want to talk to the kids. One of
she
the kids
didn't even care where Vision was.
Not only that, but like, remember she kept blocking up the road?
Yeah.
That was her. Like, she wouldn't even let him come back. You know what I mean? So I think that mailman and whole fragile thing was definitely a direct representation of Wanda in the state she's in. She's fragile right now.
For sure.
She's fragile and about to she's getting close to that cracking point. You know what I mean? The cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, the cereal, the milk changing. She saw the stork again. That's that fragile state that's my opinion. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I look.
So I shouldn't be sus of the mailman.
Man, I think at this point, everything's fair game. But honestly, I'm just saying, that word fragile was there for a reason.
Yeah, like it was just.
And I'll be honest with you, like, okay, let's just go ahead and go there. If we get Nightmare, which we may or may not get, let's just say we get Mephisto. Let's just say we get Nate Bethune. Let's just say we get that. It's going to be played by somebody who we know. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea who that mailman is.
It ain't going. You ain't just gonna pop out and just lay the mail down. It was I the whole time.
It was me. Who is this?
Like, I'm the one who delivered your mail.
What the hell is this? Like, it's gonna be somebody,
That's funny.
Yeah, it's gonna be somebody that we know. So we'll kind of have. But I just think the mailman is kind of in the same lines, and I think we take him in the same respect we take the commercials. You know what I mean? Now, I've been kind of diving into this whole Nexus thing. And, the Nexus, could be that segue into another segue in the Doctor Strange. The Nexus, there's some of those characters, they call them Nexus level characters, and they literally exist. There's one of them in every universe, That's one of the things that could segue into Kang the Conqueror. We know he's coming. I think was it Ant-Man 3? I think he's supposed to be the villain in Ant-Man 3. So it could be one of those. What else? Controlling the Nexus could be what Agatha's after, or maybe it's what whoever Agatha's working for is looking to control. That sort of it was said. Remember the commercial said prescribed by a doctor and all this kind of stuff.
My favorite part was that was my favorite part. Like facing your destiny, more depression.
Right.
Leads to more depression. Why is that every single advertisement for medicine on TV though?
I think
leads to this.
So here's a question I just thought about. Like, what do y'all think? Like I guess they did the whole Modern Family / Office kind of routine. We've gotten Bewitched, we've gotten who else?
You got Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah, we have Full House, Malcolm in the Middle.
So I'm assuming we're at present day now, right now. Like, I don't watch a lot of TV shows, but what do you think we'll get now? You know what I mean? As far as some sort of parody as far as the TV
Yeah, that's
show.
interesting. I
Yeah.
was thinking that as well because I mean,
I don't know either.
you
actually.
know, they're in essentially modern day now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, will this be like the beginning of like just the kind of the dissolving of the hex essentially because there's just nothing left
Well,
coming out
remember
of it, you know
now,
what I mean?
there was no signal being broadcast, so there
Yeah,
was
there's
like
no more
quote
channel.
unquote show.
There's no show
There was
no
no
more.
show.
They say
Yeah.
it went dead. Like after this one, like
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if we get that sort of TV show element, or if it's just the last 2 episodes is just a straight movie, and I'm all for that.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, I'm all
Maybe
for
that's
that.
why they did it like that. Like
Maybe
you
so.
get it in
Maybe
show
so.
format, and then now you get into like the cinemas when they started getting really popular, and now you get movie style episodes.
I just go back to, was it episode 3 where like the aspect ratio changed and the screen shrunk down?
yeah,
Like that's still one of my favorite moments. So I hope
it's
we
just
get
like
more
you
of
just
that.
suddenly just like yo, it really just
Yeah, it was
evolved like that in the middle of me.
Yeah.
Just watched it do it like
Facts. That was really cool.
that was
That was really
damn Marvel. You're right about them. Like you're like they haven't missed, yo. Like
they had
That's,
Marvel.
they
Eh,
have it, man.
They
like
haven't missed.
Come on. I've said it before. I'm the guy. The first 2 episodes, I was like, maybe this is the one they stumble on.
Mm.
They proved me wrong. You know what
Right.
I mean? They proved me wrong. Like you know.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, WandaVision, like out of
Here-
all of them, this is probably not going to be one I would like all that much. Bro.
This is a different conversation, but I just want to get maybe your, initial thoughts, as we always do. But like, what do you think? Like has this set the bar too high?
I think it has. I'm not gonna lie.
because now I'm expecting
I'll be
Loki and
honest.
Winter Soldier to be
I'll be
slapping
honest.
from the beginning, yo.
Falcon and
Like
Winter Soldier, like
Like-
just went down for me because of this show.
I mean, yo.
no, they
Falcon
went
Winter
up. No,
Soldier-
I'm like a
they gotta
little
be
worried.
slapping
Yo.
from the jump now. Like they gotta be.
From the beginning, like
They
it set the
can't
bar way too high.
They can't
It
miss
really
a
did.
step. They can't miss a step. Oh, I
Like-
think Loki's going to deliver.
I think Loki's
I
gonna
do.
deliver.
Yeah,
as
Tom
well.
Hiddleston's gonna kill it, yo. He
But
wanted to
Falcon
play
Winter
Loki
Soldier?
so bad, yo. Like
Like it's either going to be great or it's going to get crushed. That's my. There's no middle
Right.
ground for Falcon
For
Winter
sure.
Soldier.
Like I was thinking about that, so I'm so glad you brought that up, Chris, because I was
Sure.
like thinking, I'm like, yo, this really set the bar like up here, like really, really up there. And so like now, going into Falcon and Winter Soldier next, like this better
I mean,
be
that's-
great off the bat.
I
Like,
mean,
there
what
cannot
is
be any
the?
moment.
I know
of,
I'm
like-
looking ahead, but when do we have a release date for Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I think
It's March, right?
it's March. I
It's
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's March.
Right.
it's next
You know?
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ends this month. I mean, well, not this ends in March. 2
Yeah,
more
and then
weeks.
that picks up right after that.
And this
yeah.
picks
The
up
next week
literally.
after that?
This literally picks
Oh,
up right after it.
Yeah, man, I was like loving WandaVision. I'm like a little worried. Like this really exceeded my expectations.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I mean,
and I'm
Yeah.
hoping because like the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer was like, it was okay, but I'm hoping it does exceed my expectations as well. Because
Yeah.
that's how I went into WandaVision, kind of like, and then it crushed my expectations.
mhm.
Hoping the same thing for them, and I believe if anyone can, Marvel can do it.
They're
So-
definitely the right guys to do it.
Sure.
But I was really thinking like, yo, like, is the bar set way too high now? Like, ugh. like,
Yeah, yeah. They almost like outdid themselves for real.
Here was one thing. Just diving back into WandaVision. That whole neuroscientist thing kind of fell flat. You know what I mean? That Monica knew. We
Yeah.
didn't.
I thought that's who she was meeting up with. I thought.
I'm assuming that was the female soldier, right? Was it her?
Yeah.
Or no?
Right.
Am I wrong?
Well, she got her the
That's what I
stuff.
think,
That stuff
yeah.
just failed. Like they're like, oh, don't worry, this scar drove right through the field. No, it didn't. It didn't. It actually got thrown.
Okay.
So that
What
was like
was
the
that?
engineer
Yeah,
she was talking
yeah.
to.
Was that
right?
the engineer? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like she
That
had the
was- I
whole
was hoping-
space suit and everything, and the suit literally almost got disintegrated.
It happened real fast, and I was just like, wait, did I miss it? Like, who the hell is that?
Mhm.
It wasn't anybody
yeah.
special.
Okay,
Wasn't
okay.
anyone special. That's reading too much into it right there. On that
Yeah,
But
one.
they did that on purpose. No, it wasn't. That's not our fault. Come on, don't put that
They
on
did that
us.
on purpose.
That's not our fault. That's Marvel's fault. Come
They
on,
did
Marvel,
do
they
that on
know what
purpose,
they're
though. They
doing.
did. They know what they're doing. They're so calculated. I swear. They like it's like
I
they
would
did.
agree at this point in time.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, so they definitely did.
Absolutely. You know. So yeah, I mean, episode 8. You know, I think
Episode 8.
hopefully we, and I think hopefully we, obviously we're going to get more of that. Well, yeah, I mean, hell, even we got finally like a mid-credit scene. We haven't talked about that.
Yes,
with
we did.
with Quicksilver or whoever that is, because it's not
Mhm.
Quicksilver and Monica. So, I'm assuming he's working for Agatha.
I don't know. I still don't think. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris, but I still don't feel like that Evan Peters cameo was just for that. Like, I feel like he has to have another greater purpose. Like, why him of all people?
I think he's going to. I think he's going to. But I literally think that was just that kind of like, look, nobody flipped out any more passionately than I did when I saw him.
Right.
So
for sure.
they got me. I mean, that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's Quicksilver. I don't think he's any sort of whatever. I think he's. I mean, and what kind of made me mad was it just kind of like you took such a dope scene and like you see her drinking a glass of wine and like flicking her hand in there. I'm like, you mother.
Like you disrespected me right there.
Like really? Like you took that scene and you just like shunned it off like that? Like okay, cool, whatever.
Why did I know you were upset about this?
Oh, I was hot. Oh,
I knew you were mad about this. I knew you were mad about this. As soon as I saw that, I was like, "No, Chris," and I knew you were mad about this.
I said we're at 36 minutes.
Oh,
36 minutes, guys.
Well, we'll go ahead and just kind of finish off with what we hope to see in episode 8. And
sure.
I want to see more of that dark medieval kind of basement that Agatha has.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what actual control she does have over Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I want to see that. Like, can she really like punk Wanda? Because I don't necessarily think she can.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Hopefully we get into what happened to Monica and Evan Peters' character. I'm assuming we're going to get that scene with Vision and Wanda. Hey, this is our town, and let's fight for it, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So where does that play in? Is that episode 8? Is that episode 9? So we'll just kind of see what happens. Mm-hmm. And then we really didn't get a lot of like Hayward. You know what I mean? Outside of the Hex. So what are their what are their outer workings doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
So
that's a big thing too. What is his plan?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, And I want a longer episode. I do. I'm killing it. I would love to see
sure. I would definitely want that longer episode. That would be beautiful.
Nate, what do you think? What do you want to see in episode 8?
I just want some confirmation on a few things. I want to know what the book is, because if it's confirmed to be the Darkhold, then that confirms a few things for me. Not really, but it makes a few things for me a little bit more likely. It would explain how they're going to slot Blade into the MCU, because in the Marvel comic, literally the first vampire was established using the Darkhold, and that's how vampires were established. I literally even just read another little thing where, because someone was explaining the Darkhold because it popped up, and they were like, the Darkhold, and they were explaining everything about it. But it's where a bunch of the occult shit in Marvel stems from. And it's so like it's where werewolves and Marvel come from. It's where the vampires were established from, and
that would make sense. And we'll talk about it off camera, because I think I know where you're going. But go ahead.
Yeah. Like, that would make a lot of sense for the Sutton bringing in of all characters in the MCU, Blade. I mean, not this disrespect Blade. I love Blade. Blade's fucking dope. But in the thing when they're going so cosmic with stuff, like they're bringing in Captain Marvel, they're starting to go outside of the Earth. Like they're doing the Eternals. Blade.
Yeah.
What about you, Brendan? What you thinking, man?
Yeah, man. You know, I want to see, you know, what Agatha's intentions are. You know, does she want to, you know, recruit Wanda? You know, does she want to like do something like with her, like in terms of, you know, hurting her? Like, you know, what her intentions are. You know, I want to see what Hayward's intentions are. Like, he had that one little clip it on screen where he's just like, "Is everything ready?" And it's just like, what is he about to do? Like, nuke the place? Like, we don't
Well,
know.
according to
Um,
Monica, didn't she say he's about to try to rain fire down the bottom on all of this?
right. So
But I don't know
he
if that
about
was
to
just
nuke the
her.
city. He's like, yeah, you know what? If we got it, there's already radiation anyways. Might as well just, you know what I mean? Like, what is his, you know, crazy nut plan? And you know, I want to see longer episodes too. Like just I think an hour would be really really cool, especially like what's happening right now. Like it's getting into the thick of things. So I think an hour episode would just be really dope. But yeah, you know, just seeing what Agatha's intentions are, uh, just going forward. I think that would
Happened
be
to the
great.
kids
And
too. I want to know what happened to the kids.
yo,
Yeah,
man, did anyone anyone remember that how Vision made a joke about him dying twice?
Yeah.
yeah. He just died.
Oh, that was so funny.
Look, he took it well. He took it really, really well.
He definitely did.
He said, "I don't remember any of it." He said, "But I died,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got
That
brought
was
back to this,
hilarious.
and then I was killed."
He's he's like, so I died twice. And it's like this is a joke everyone makes.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious.
Died
But
twice.
it was just perfect. But yeah, you know,
All
I'm
right,
excited.
y'all. We'll
Back
see
next week.
y'all. We'll see y'all in a couple of days to talk about episode 8. A lot of expectations, a lot of hopefully a lot more to come. So
For
with
sure.
every episode, we try and try our best to deliver, and you know, yeah, you know, we'll see what happens with episode 8. You know, a lot of, like I said, a lot of expectations. There's 2 left, man. And so you know,
Two of them.
this has to come through. You know, I'm kind of at a loss for words because I think there's just so much to look forward to. And
So much.
there's still at 2 episodes left. There's still so many possibilities. So I'm along for the ride. I know Nate and Brennan are along for the ride. Hope y'all are along for the
Yes.
ride with
For
us.
sure.
You know, hope y'all, you know, stay on the journey with us. And you know, we'll see y'all in a couple days.
See you
Yes,
guys
sir.
later. Thank you
Y'all have a
guys.
good one. Thank y'all.